afternoon, everyone, from the lobby of Bruner Motors on the corner of the South Loop and Lillian Street in Stephenville. Make sure you stop by. Plenty of free food, refreshments, and Tarleton athletic giveaways later in the half hour. Our food today brought to you by Don Nico's on the South Loop. Don Nico's open every day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. The Coach Lonn Reisman radio show is sponsored by Bruner Motors, so we thank them for their support in making the show possible. Coach, good morning. And we talked about it on the bus. It's tough to put this start into words.
Yeah, it really is, Casey. I mean, it's just it's been a nice ride, and our kids are playing real hard, and I'm just proud of the effort that they're taking to the floor tonight.
Tarleton now 16-0, and let's get you caught up on the two games this past week. Tarleton went 2-0, and ironically enough, they won each game by 24 points. And it started on Saturday night at Wisdom Gym with a 76-52 win over 3-0 Cameron University in an early battle for first place in the conference. And I know you didn't expect a 24-point win.
No, Cameron came in playing. I think they'd won 4 or 5 straight games, Casey. They were really playing well and had some good victories. You know, they really had played well and had a victory, some victories on the road. And so a team that didn't take us a lot to get ready for. They had beaten us twice last year, and I think our seniors knew that, and our seniors were ready to play that game, and our kids really played well.
That was the 18th consecutive win at home. The last team to beat you at home was Cameron. How much did you talk about that heading into the game?
I mentioned it. You know, I mean, sure. I didn't really hit it hard, but I did mention it was the last team that defeated us at home, and more so than that, we just wanted to make sure that, you know, we had a chance to win and beat a team that had swept us last year and probably cost us last year from not playing Metro the first round.
Yeah, good point. And at the half, Tayshawn Mabry had 3 points, but the junior forward sank 4 3-pointers in the second half. On Monday, he was named the Lone Star Conference Player of the Week. Is he developing faster than you expected?
Well, you know, I knew he could play. You know, he's developing and he's getting in a comfort zone now. He shoots it very, very well. We knew that when we recruited him, Casey. But I just want him to continue to improve and improve his energy. He's got a good feel for the game. He's got a good IQ for the game, and he's very important to our success.
In the end, did you feel the biggest reason for the win was the tough and physical Tarleton defense that you played?
Well, I thought that, as a first team, we were back to 52 points again. We held them to 52 points, 40% from the floor, and those are the things that we look for. If you can hold somebody to them, low 40s or 38 to 39, and you're out rebounding them, and you have a chance to win ball games.
In the crowd, Coach, look here for the attendance number. Don't have it here, but it had to be at least 2,500 folks, and it really, it's 2,971, pardon me. Biggest crowd of the year, and by far the loudest.
Yeah, it was a great crowd, and people are really turning out to watch the team play, and it's exciting. It's exciting for us to see the support that they're giving us. I think it's exciting for them to see something that's historical here. And, we haven't lost a game yet this year, 16-0, and we really don't preach that, but it's still, it's fun. It's a great ride, and we're trying to do our very best to take every game, the next one, seriously enough to win a ball game. And I don't think we talk about it a lot, but it's great to recruit with.
One of the big reasons for that crowd right in front of us, the Plowboys, they brought a level of energy, and
yes.
they kind of gave the Cameron coach a hard time the other night.
Plowboys are one of my favorite group. I mean, when they come in, that they're going to do a great job of getting the crowd up, and they do a great job of supporting our basketball team. And they're a great group of guys. I've always been one of my favorite groups on our campus. I've been here 26 years, and I've seen 26 different Plowboys groups, and they've all been fabulous guys.
With the win, Tarleton improved to 15-0 in the year. On Monday, they move up to number 4 in the nation after Bellarmine in Indiana, Pennsylvania lost. You would then travel to Canyon. You'd hit the road for the 3rd time in 4 games, and despite a 24-point win, that was a West Texas team coming in with a lot of talent and off a big win.
Yeah, we're really concerned because we hadn't won out at West Texas since 2010. They had all their team back finally. They had just really demolished Kingsville, 82-59, and Pete does a great job down at Kingsville. I was really concerned. They were playing well, and they came in with confidence, and they knew it was a big game for them. They thought they had a good crowd there, and somebody wanted to knock us off, and they really played well, and we just finally opened it up in the second half.
We talk about how much success this program's had in 26 years. One place you haven't had success is in Canyon, 4-14 all time. How much of that is a testament to Rick Cooper and his team?
Rick did a great job out there for years. Tough place to play in the box all those years in the box, and it's a tough place. It's a tough trip. He always had great talent, and it was I didn't expect us to win 87-63. I think that's what the score was. I was never planning on that. I knew it would be a tough ball game, but really felt good about the way our kids opened it up in the second half.
For the first time in the history of this series, Rick Cooper was no longer on the sidelines. Vinay Patel, the interim head coach. Now, you're the dean of the coaches in the conference. Do you try to help out a young coach like Patel?
Well, I think he's doing a good job. I thought he had a good teacher, and I really don't. I'm not, he and Chris talk more than I talk to Vinay. I think Vinay's going to do a great job out there, and I think he's doing a good job. I think he inherited a very tough situation. He going in and following the legend out there. And I know he and Rick still talk, and I look for Vinay. They have a good team. They're going to win some more games. They're going to play a part of this Lone Star Conference race.
Yeah, once they get those guys that came off suspensions and get everyone healthy, the talent's there. I mean, look at Antoine Ball. He won the national slam dunk contest in high school.
No doubt, they have the talent to really to make a run.
You took a 17-point lead early in the ball game. West Texas stormed back. They cut it to a 4-point game. Did Coach Reisman have a stern talk with his team at the half?
Well, we just got away from what we were doing. I mean, we started the game off really sharing the ball, really running our offense, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, we just kind of went flat and got complacent, and we weren't running the offense again, and we just went to try to regroup at halftime and look at things that were making us successful in the first 10 or 12 minutes of the game compared to the last 10 or 8 or 10 minutes of the first half. And I thought Chuck came out and asserted himself.
Yeah, he really did, and Chuck finished with 17 points, 4-10 from the field. You out-rebound the Buffaloes 39-25. Was that the biggest key overall?
Definitely, because West Texas has always been a tremendous rebounding basketball team, Casey. They make their living off the backboards.
Yeah.
They make their living off offensive rebounds, and anytime you beat them 39-25 on the boards, that's a huge statistic for us.
Yeah, Ball came in averaging 10 boards, and you held him to 4.
Yeah, and like Chris was telling him, you might not get a rebound, but block him out, and make sure he stays off the backboard.
The Texans are now on the 3rd longest winning streak in school history with a perfect 16-0 record, and they're 5-0 in the Lone Star Conference. When we return after this, senior guard Coleman First will join the broadcast when the Coach Lonn Reisman radio show continues right after this. And welcome back to the Coach Lonn Reisman radio show. I'm your host, Casey Hogan, and as I do each week, I'll ask our live crowd to help me welcome to the show 4-year player and senior guard Coleman First. Give him a hand, folks. Coleman, how you doing, man?
Doing good.
Yeah, everything's, when you're 16-0, I think everybody's pretty happy right now.
Yes, sir.
Now, the timing of this interview, very good, because if you read the Stephenville Empire Tribune this morning, a real nice article that Brad Keith wrote about Coleman and his time at Tarleton. And when I was reading that article, I realized during your time here, you've won 86 games, Coleman, and you've only lost 22. What's been the biggest reason for that success?
Coach Chris and Coach Reisman, they just do a great job. And, I've just been lucky to be in a lot of great teams, and this year is definitely one of those teams as well.
Yeah, that record, like you said, means you've been on some good teams. Every year you've been here, you've been to the NCAA tournament. How is this team compared to others that you've been on?
All the teams I've been on at Tarleton have been good, but this one, this is definitely a special team. One, just because we have a lot of depth, and this is probably, it might be the most talented team I've been on. And what's exciting about it is I think we're just getting better and better, and we're just now kind of starting to learn how to play together as a team. So,
yeah, you talk about that depth. Folks, I did the math this morning. Tarleton's bench players have outscored opponents 681, opponents' benches, 681 to 351. And that's been a big reason for the success, because like the other night, it seemed like in the second half you just wear down West Texas.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Now, last year, Coleman, you averaged 32 minutes per game, 10 points per game. That's down this year, 17 minutes, 5 points per game. Has it been tough for you with that new talent coming in to adjust to that and not have the numbers that you're used to?
I don't think it's been tough. It's just been an adjustment that I've had to make, and not just me, but everybody on the teams had to share minutes, and that's kind of what's cool about it. Everybody supports each other, and we don't have anybody on the team that's selfish or anything. And I think that's why we've been really successful this year.
How do you do that? I mean, you get all these junior college All-Americans in, and these great players that you already had, and it seems like this team has so much chemistry, and it's not about me or myself. It's about my team and a ring. What do you attribute that to?
Just kind of what Coach Chris and Coach Reisman instill in us. That's kind of what this program's based on. Just putting the team before ourselves, and it's hard. All the recruits, they were the best players from wherever they came from, and then to come here and have to, fit in wherever they can and just accept the role they have. And the returners have had to do the same thing. It's been an adjustment for us, and I think we're just now starting to get to where we're playing together as a team, and we're just going to continue to keep getting better if we have this attitude.
Yeah, and that's what's scary if you're scouting Tarleton or watching the team. You're 16-0, but you can still improve in areas like rebounding, for instance.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is your 4th year, and you're the only 4-year senior on the roster. As I looked at the roster this morning now, does Coach look to you, especially early in camp, did Coach look at you to provide some extra leadership because you know this system so well?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did the same thing last year, but I've just been through a lot of practices, so, you know, I try to help the new guys as much as I can, you know, with the drills, you know. It's a big adjustment coming from, you know, maybe JUCO or high school to come to Tarleton in this program, so, you know, I just tried to do whatever I could to help out early in the season.
Now, believe it or not, folks, this 16-game winning streak is not Coleman First's longest winning streak as a Texan. Back in 11 and 12, you won 17 games. Can you compare the two? Which is more impressive?
The 2 seasons for the
2 years ago, was that more impressive, 17 games, or this 16-game start?
Probably the 16-game start's a little more special to me, just because I've never been on a team that has been 16-0. So, you know, if we could just get one more win and tie those
that'd be nice. Or 2 more, and you could break it. It'd be the all-time 18. Would be the longest winning streak in Tarleton history. Now let's mix it up a bit. I'm going to give you, Coleman, a name or a subject, and just give me a quick one-liner on each.
Okay.
Sound good? Chuck guy.
Unbelievably talented.
Midwestern State.
Hostile.
Yeah, no doubt. We saw that a week and a half ago. Tarleton fans?
Amazing.
Tayshawn Mabry?
Talented.
Best player in the conference that's not a Tarleton Texan? You can think about it. That's tough.
Probably have to say Kenny Williams from Angelo State.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. I was going to say Kenny or maybe Monzago Williams.
Yeah.
Pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kenny Williams is a heck of a player. Stephenville, Texas.
Just a great town.
How about Lonn Reisman? He's watching you right now, so better say something nice, you know.
Unbelievable coach.
Best broadcaster in the Lone Star Conference?
Casey.
Hey, there we go. Thank you. You get free Don Nikos for that. Biggest shot you've taken in your career?
It'd probably be the shot in the conference tournament versus Midwestern last year.
How good did that feel, especially, and I wasn't here to see it, but a lot of folks talked about the miss against Arkansas Tech, and did you feel like you redeemed yourself there?
Yeah, I kind of did it in a way. You know, it was just a good shot for me, and you know, it ended up helping us win the ball game.
Now, you want to go into coaching after your playing career concludes. Put you on the spot here. Might we see you stick around here in Stephenville to get your master's?
Possibly. You know, I'm kind of just trying to focus on the season right now and just try to live in the moment.
Good answer. Coleman, thanks for your time. Great career you've had here at Tarleton. It's been a real pleasure watching you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's give Coleman First, senior guard for the Texans, a big round of applause. When we return in 1 minute, Coach Reisman rejoins the show on the Tarleton Athletic Radio Network. Welcome back to the Coach Lonn Reisman radio show, live from the lobby of Bruner Motors on the South Loop and Lillian in Stephenville. We've got free Don Nikos in the house. Remember, Don Nikos daily lunch specials each day. On Wednesday, $6.95 fajitas. You can also call in and pick up your order at 968-6552. We've even got Dr. DeTavio here eating Don Nikos, and he's going to be with us on the show on February 14th, so I have to write some good questions. I can't wing it that day.
There you go.
So I have to write some serious. Now, back to winging it, Coach. Let's look at the standings in the Lone Star Conference. Tarleton all alone at 5-0. You have a 2-game lead on Angelo State, Midwestern, Eastern, and Cameron. They're bunched up in second place at 3-2. And then there's 3 teams at the bottom of the conference with 1-4 records in A&M Commerce, West Texas A&M, and Texas A&M Kingsville. I know it's early, but it still has to feel good to have a 2-game lead.
Well, definitely. You know, it feels good. It's a journey. It's a long journey, Casey, and you know we're not even halfway through the conference season yet. And with 14 games we have to play, we're 5-0, but it's a great start, and our kids have worked hard to get to that point. 3 of your past 4 matchups have been away from Wisdom Gym, but now you're going to return home for 3 straight. And judging by the crowd we saw at Cameron, it should be a great atmosphere the next 3. We hope so. We hope that everybody comes out and gets to be a part of something. This because you know it's everybody's a record. It's everybody's part of this team, and when we have a crowd in there like we have, Casey, it just gives our kids a great momentum and great, you know, the enthusiasm that they generate just it motivates our kids to play. And speaking of great crowds, I've never been to a coach's show at Tarleton with this many people. Yeah, great crowd here today, and we really appreciate everybody coming out and supporting the program, Casey. Let's preview the one game on the schedule as the number 4 ranked Texans will take on Eastern New Mexico on Saturday night. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off. The Greyhounds are 9-7 overall.
And since losing, Coach, to Midwestern State by 25 points, they have played very well.
Yeah, you'll see that they beat Angelo State. And Angelo State, like you said, Kenny Williams is a great player over there. They beat Angelo State 72-68, and then they beat Commerce the other night. So they come in, Casey, with a 3-game winning streak. They also won at Kingsville, which is not easy to do.
And they beat an Angelo State team, Coach, that beat Midwestern by 15 the other night.
And so they come in playing very well. They're very dangerous. They shoot the ball very well. A team that beat us out at Eastern there last year, and we beat them at home. So we split with this team last year.
I've never coached, so I could be totally off base here, but can you go back to the Midwestern State game when they lost, I think, by 25 points there in Wichita Falls? Can you go back and try to take something from that?
Well, we watched the tape on it this morning. I watched with Chris on some of the tape, and they missed. You know, really, with 3 minutes to go in the first half, it was a 4-point ball game. And the second half, they just did not shoot the ball. How many times are you going to see Rodney Blackman go 0 for 12?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen again.
It's not going to happen.
The Greyhounds returned almost every player from last year's team. You mentioned one of them in Rodney Blackman. They also have Raphael Love, and you can make a case that they have 2 of the best guard combos in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, you know, those are two outstanding guards, and they can play with anybody in our league. And they have had a great season so far this year. They're both, you know, averaging 16 and 13, and so it's going to be a very, very tough night.
Now, one newcomer on their roster that's making a big difference down on the block is the transfer from Abilene Christian, Cornelius Kamick. Is he making an impact there?
He is. You know, it gives him a big body. He's a big physical kid. He really shoots the ball well in the mid-range area. He can post up, and so, you know, he brings another dimension they haven't had.
Now, fans that come out to the game on Saturday night are going to see 2 of the best 3-point shooting teams in the conference, and it should be an exciting game from a fan to watch these 2 teams battle.
Yeah, they really shoot the ball. If I had to, one of their strengths is a 3-pointer. There's no doubt about that. They can really shoot it. They're very athletic, and you know, it's going to be a real test.
Neither one of these teams turn over the ball very much. You're plus 5.5 turnover margin. They're plus 5. Could that be, at the end of the day, one of the big keys that we talk about Saturday?
Well, you know, turnovers are going to be, you know, every time I tell them, every time that we turn the ball over, it's one less shot we're going to get in the game. And so turnovers are huge. Rebounding is going to be huge, Casey. And then, you know, we're going to have to play a great defensive basketball game.
So it's the Tarleton Texans and the Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off Saturday night, where Tarleton will try to defend their 18-game home winning streak. Let's take a second, Coach, and look at the National Association of Basketball Coaches top 25 poll. As you know, Tarleton is the number 4 ranked team in the nation. Last week they were number 6. Let's look at who's in front of Tarleton. West Liberty, the number 1 ranked team in the nation. And last night, Coach, I looked on the internet this morning, they won in overtime.
Wow.
Last night.
They scored
by 4 points.
They scored a lot of points, Casey.
Yeah, I think they lead the country in scoring. You've got Florida Southern in second place. They're 17-0. They beat Tampa Wednesday night 87-83 in overtime. And boy, both of those teams, the top 2, won in overtime this week.
Well, you know, they're undefeated. One's 14-0, one's 17-0, and I'll tell you, it's very, very tough. They're going through some of the same things we are. People are going to get up for you. I tell our kids every night that you don't bring your best game, you're going to get beat, because it's a motivating. It's not only motivating for the teams that come in here and play us. It's motivating when we're on the road for their fans. West Texas had a big contingent there of fans, and they want to see a 16-0 team.
And everywhere you go, folks had shirts. If you weren't at Canyon on Saturday or Wednesday night, they had shirts made that said "Beat Tarleton" on it. Oh, and that's going to be almost everywhere.
Yeah, they had their shirts, and they had their shirts out and right behind our bench, "Beat Tarleton," and they really wanted this ball game very badly.
The number 3 ranked team in the nation is a team that Tarleton fans know. That's Metro State out of Colorado that beat Tarleton in the opening round of the NCAA tournament last year. They are 14-1, and really, you can look at a couple things. You have a common opponent in West Texas A&M.
Yes.
And I believe that
Western
Washington as well. So there's a couple parallels there. What do you think about Metro this year?
Well, you know, they had quite a few players back also. They've always been a strong team, and the only thing I hope is we don't have to go to Western Washington. Or Metro. Let's play in Stephenville.
Yeah, we surely won't go to Western, but yeah, you don't want to. Is it too early to think about that? We know the regional rankings aren't released for a couple weeks.
Well, it's still. I mean, we're probably 2 weeks away from the regionals being announced, and you know, just have to keep winning, Casey. I know that's easy. It's easy to say, but that's what it ends up being. You just have to keep winning.
Well, and I'll go ahead and look towards those regional rankings, even though as a coach you can't. You're not going to be able to lose 3 or 4 games and host a regional.
No, I mean Metro's that our conference is so tough, top to bottom. You know, you look down here and you see some 1-4 teams, but those 1-4 teams can beat the top of the conference team. So, you know, it's going to be, you know, you just have to keep winning if you really want to host a regional.
And give you an example of that, folks. Metro State on Saturday night is playing a 1-14 team in their conference. There's no 1-14 teams in the Lone Star.
No, there's not.
That's the NABC Top 25 poll. Again, your Texans, the number 4 ranked team in the nation. Coach and I will take a break, and when we return, we'll wrap up this edition of the Coach Lonn Reisman Radio Show on the Tarleton Athletic KSTV Radio Network. Welcome back to the Coach Lonn Reisman Radio Show as we get ready to wrap up this 3rd edition of the show. And Coach, we talked about it earlier, by far the largest crowd we've ever seen in a coach's show. And so to say thank you, what we do each week is we'll draw 3 names randomly from a hat, and then you'll come over here and you'll roll the dice. Coach, tell them how to roll that dice. I know you're a pro, right?
No, I'm not a pro. Can't skid it.
You can't skid it. You have to roll it. So if your name's called, come up and give it a good roll. And we'll have 3 folks come up, and you can win a Tarleton Athletic t-shirt, you can win a hat, you can win an oil change from Bruder Motors, a car wash, or you can win the grand prize. If you hit the grand prize, you're going to come back later in the season for a grand prize roll-off. There's been 2 people that have hit it so far, and if you win that roll-off, you will get a trip paid for to the Lone Star Conference Tournament in Allen, Texas. So our first winner, Brandon McCrory. Come on down, Brandon, member of the Plowboys.
Wow.
Thanks for being here, Brandon. And Brandon's going to go up and grab the dice here. See if he can hit that grand prize. It's happened twice. Here we go. Brandon rolls the dice, and he gets the grand prize. All right.
So come back and roll again.
So, Mr. Brunner, if you'll mark that down, that's number 3. So we've got 3 in the roll-off here. Congratulations, Brandon. He'll come back in a few weeks right before the conference tournament starts in March, and we'll let you know for that roll-off. Our second winner is Cameron Best. I think we need to check that dice because it's been hitting grand prize.